Hello and welcome back to another edition of Chill with Kaiju Kim. I'm Kaiju Kim. Hope you're all doing well on this lovely afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. Before we get rolling tonight, I'd just like to make sure everyone knows I set up a Discord server for this channel. This will help me keep in touch with those of you who do not follow me on Twitter, which is where I do most of my updates and random thoughts and what have you. So if you'd like to know what I'm up to and chat with other kaiju and tokusatsu fans, you can follow the link down in the description below to join the fun. Now for our show tonight, we are just gonna chill, hence the title. And we're going to talk about all things Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, etc. And we're going to get to know a fellow content creator who is relatively new to the YouTube game. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome GojiKai.
Hey, GojiKai here. Glad to be here, Kim.
Glad to have you. Thanks for coming on. Let's see who we have in the chat. We have Toku Punk Productions. Yes, hello. And we have Vitora and Goji. And we got my boy, Matt from Monstrosities. How's it going? I'm doing well, Matt. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well as well. All right. So, Goji Kaichou, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Splendid.
I am. Yeah, great. So, well, hey, this is my first live broadcast. Everybody that knows the show or has been to my channel on YouTube knows that it is all pre-recorded. I really don't have the power right now at home to do anything live. So, and the cam thing was just a last minute. Why the heck not? Why the heck not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. I mean, I show my face every week, so
No, I'm notoriously
I still got subscribers somehow. So
right, and I am notoriously camera shy to begin with. So take that as you will.
It's all fine and good. I used to be camera shy as well, but now look at me. Everyone sees my nastiness every week. All right, so
you're not nasty. Stop it. You're not.
All right, so let's get going with the discussion tonight. So, 3 questions that I like to ask my guests.
Okay.
What got you into Godzilla? What's your favorite Godzilla movie? And what is your favorite non-Godzilla kaiju movie?
Okay. What got me into Godzilla? This is going to take a little bit, so kind of bear with me, all right? Because I have to turn on the Wayback Machine. Now, I am a Showa era veteran. I grew up at the tail end of Showa in the US. So at that time, AIP, American International Pictures, was still distributing the Godzilla films to theaters up until 1976, when people started deciding, well, we don't want to see lighthearted, funny movies anymore. We want to see dark, gritty, serious detective dramas and stuff like that. Cinemas were not buying the Godzilla movies from AIP anymore. And so AIP was like, well, what are we going to do? Theaters aren't buying. We're going to have to start selling to the TV markets. And so NBC was the only major network that really wanted to pony up any cash for it. So 1976 was the premiere of Godzilla versus Megalon. And John Belushi actually was the MC of the premiere, and he wore a Godzilla suit that had been made for the movie Hollywood Boulevard. And it was John Belushi stomping around and just acting his normal goofy self. I mean, he was a notorious kaiju fan. But cue me, little bitty me, dinosaur freak. I mean, what little kid isn't a dinosaur freak? And my dad calls me into the room and he's like, hey, you got to see this. And so he brings me in, and all of a sudden there's this big dinosaur stomping through buildings, breathing fire and fighting other monsters. I mean, what's not to fall in love with right there, you know? So I was hooked. From then I was hooked. It's in my blood. I mean, ever since then, I started watching the Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon creature feature spook shows that were prevalent on local TV outlets at the time. And they would have like things like old Ultraman, bad English dubs of Ultraman, or they had a Hong Kong tokusatsu that was called Super Inframan, the worst dubbing I've ever seen. And they totally ripped off Ultraman and a lot of the super robot anime plot lines from back then. But growing up in that era, it's still kind of hazy, but I do remember bits of it, like the connection between the super robot anime like Mazinger Z and Yusha Raiden and Getter Robo. Those kind of go hand in hand with my early experiences with kaiju, because those were on TV in English, really bad dubs at the same time. It's very rare to see them. So that was my first experience. Now, my favorite Godzilla film, I don't really have one favorite. I do have all of the Godzilla movies they ever made. And they're all in Japanese, except for maybe a couple of them that I was not able to find the Japanese cut. But right now, I'm really heavy still into watching and basically trying to mentally navigate SP. Because oh, yes. It is so deep. I love the way that they present the kaiju as just something otherworldly and just something like almost interdimensional. And I'm watching that going, you know what? If you watch this episode by episode, you're going to forget half of the episode you just watched. So I've got all the episodes. Yeah, I've got season 1. So I'll just sit there and I'll watch season 1 as one long movie. It works that way. It actually works. You retain a lot more that way. And the third question, the non-kaiju film that I love the most, or non-Godzilla kaiju that I love the most, hands down, the original, the OG Ninja Turtle himself, Gamera.
Nice.
Yes, I am a huge Gamera nerd. So. Yeah, I mean, I even like walk around the lair singing the MST3K Gamera song. Just, yeah, Gamera is really neat. Gamera is really neat. We are
eating Gamera. I actually did a dramatic reading of that on my channel a few months back.
Oh, God. That sounds fun. And speaking of dramatic readings, that's a project that I'm working on right now. It's just kind of right now, it's not going to be published. I'm just using it as a proof of concept for something different to do for my channel, is dramatic readings of sci-fi literature. Right now, I'm trying to start recording and just kind of like see how well I can do with Audacity and my own primitive editing skills to do a dramatic reading of the short story compilation by William Gibson called Burning Chrome. And that was the book that contained the story Johnny Mnemonic that they made the Keanu Reeves movie out of, and it was horrible. It was so bad. It had nothing to do with the book. So, yeah.
Oh, boy. Gotta love things that stray from the source material. Godzilla 98. So,
don't get me started. There's too many. Devilman, the live action.
We'll be here all night if we talk about that kind of stuff. All right.
Oh yeah. So. We don't want to. Pad out the runtime. No. So yeah, if there's anything the viewers want to know, fire away.
All right. So, yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your channel?
Oh, my channel has just started out as a pet project for, I was just kicking it around in my head. I got addicted to watching the VTubers on HoloLive. You know, big shout out to all the HoloLive English girls, Galgura, Amelia Watson, Takanashi Kiara, Calliope Mori, and all the new ones in Generation 2. I mean, these guys inspired me to look at YouTubing as something that was fun, something that could be a social outlet. I have Asperger's, so it's not really easy for me to be social. I'm very awkward. I mean, you guys could probably tell this. It's not that I'm nervous. It's just I'm a little awkward. It can get weird. I didn't find out until I was 23, and and I'm not really gonna tell you how old I am.
You're 30.
So no.
I'm 30.
Oh, okay. I've got it on you in years. I was born in 71. Do the math. The year of Godzilla versus Gigan's release. So, yeah. So my birth coincided with the Godzilla movie.
Oh, so did mine. My birth year was 1991, so that was the same year Godzilla versus King Ghidorah came out. Yay.
Oh, yeah, the one that was razzed by critics here for being anti-American. Oh God, that was embarrassing. I was sitting there going, no, Godzilla doesn't wear a flag. No. Oh wait, I can't read this. Hang on, let me put the old specs on.
All right,
here.
so it's from my friend Matt from Monstrosities. He said he's going to check out your channel. Yay!
Thanks, Matt.
And spoiler alert, Kim and Kai Chow, neither one of you are awkward. We beg to differ, good sir.
Definitely. Oh, my camera's over.
I'm not super
it's
awkward
over
right
here
now.
Okay.
I have notes in front of me. That's
why no. It's like my camera. I'm trying to get my finger used to pointing. This is really the first time I've ever been on camera. I just couldn't read the tiny little print of what Matt was saying. So yeah, Matt, check out the channel. Just lots of rando stuff with lots of kaiju. Lots of kaiju stuff. I just kind of goof off on there. I do a rant every now and then. Like there's a rant on there about when I found out that there was going to be a live action Gundam series that Netflix is producing. I'm like, oh, why? They already tried a live action Gundam. Sunrise tried a live action Gundam in 1991. And even Sunrise looks at that today and goes, you know what, guys, this is not canon. Don't even think that this is canon, because it was like you're watching the movie and you're near the end of the movie, about 30 minutes until the end of the movie. That's when you see your first mech fight. It's like they forgot, it's like some point in making that movie, they're like, hey, weren't we supposed to have Gundam in our Gundam movie? Oh yeah, cue the CG, boys.
That's one of those, huh?
Yeah, it was a co-production of Sunrise Productions in Japan and some Canadian company that I'm not familiar with. They're not really known for doing movies. They're known for doing more like TV stuff. So that's probably another reason it was really bad. But there was a movie, a live action adaptation of a classic anime that I dearly love, was Uchu Senkan Yamato. In 2010, they did a live action space battleship Yamato movie. The English dub was decent. The graphics for their time were really good. And these graphics were made, the CGI in it was all done by a company that works for TV. And they look movie quality. It's that good. But they're very faithful to the story of that anime. So, I do kind of find myself lucky that I grew up when I did, in the decades that I did, even though by and large, the 70s were weird. The 80s were weird. you got lucky, Kim. You got to grow up in the decade that was just coming off of that. So you weren't having to, everybody was like, oh, thank God it's over. And the nightmare is over. So that was when that 91, that was when I joined the Navy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I was in the Navy from 91 to 94 and achieved the rank that I was when I left was a petty officer, 3rd class. And I was air crew. I was based out of NAS Pensacola, and I did structural mechanic work. So, I got to kind of play around with patching bullet holes on fighter jets. So it was really neat. But yeah, it was 80s was really weird for Godzilla stuff because you only ever saw it on TV, and the only exception to that rule was 1985 when Return of Godzilla got hacked up and they added a very disappointed looking Raymond Burr. He just
he does look disappointed in that movie. He's like, why am I here? Is this what I'm doing?
Oh yeah, paycheck. But, but yeah, the thing was they promised him they would not turn it into a spoof or a comedy or something like that, but they did. And the people responsible for that film, for producing that film and bringing it to America was, guess who? Roger Corman and New World Pictures. And if you guys know who Roger Corman is, I pity you. This guy has made the worst movies in the history of ever. And he's known for taking $5 for a special effects budget and making it look really good, but having like Z-list actors. So it's yeah. That's where Godzilla 1985 came from. It, the whole thing as a spoof, and it just sprang from the mind of Roger Corman himself. And then 89 was Godzilla versus Biollante, released in Japan. I don't think it got to the US until like maybe 2 or 3 years after. But I got, I lived through the golden age of anime, when everything was all hand drawn. It was a labor of love, and you could tell just by watching those shows. And I do recommend it. I mean, if anybody wants to know more, I'm not going to expand on it anymore here, but if you guys want to know more, just hit me up on Twitter, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you guys about that. But all right, over to you, Kim. You got any more questions for this ancient kaiju?
All right. So, did you have any friends that were into this stuff as much as you were, or were you all alone in your nerdom?
Early on, I think early on, before high school, there were a lot of kids that, they had the Shogun Warriors Godzilla toy and the Shogun Warriors Radon toy, which was only available in the US. But nobody really, I mean, there weren't really any people talking about it in the schoolyard, and in high school, everything kind of turned to other things, hey, we're going to go see that new Nightmare on Elm Street, or something like that. Or 1986, hey, let's go see Aliens. And then I had gotten hooked on BattleTech, and like 2 years after the game originally came out, as a tabletop strategy game. So I was into that. I was into D&D, real D&D, not the new stuff. 5th edition has been watered down so much and streamlined so much. I don't even consider it D&D anymore. I mean, to me, it's short attention span theater. That's basically new D&D. It's basically just been watered down so much that you can't even recognize it from 2nd edition and 1st edition, which was back when it was still TSR Games that made it. So that was D&D at its purest. But, I mean, stuff like that. I had my own little nerd circles, but I never lost my love for Godzilla. I mean, I would watch that at home and, just, talk to my little brothers about it. I got my niece, my little baby niece here recently. I started teaching her the ways of kaiju when she was 5.
Excellent.
Yes.
Start them young.
Oh God. Well, no. Well, she loved it because at the time she was like me. She was into dinosaurs, and I had given her all these dinosaur books, and I'm like, you know what? She would love to see Godzilla. So I showed her Godzilla, and her eyes just boom, dinner plate size, right? You know, and I'm like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she was kind of like, what have I been missing? You know, and now she's 7. She just turned 7, and I gave her. I think I showed you on Twitter. I sent you the picture of her with her new best buddy, which was the Playmates burning Godzilla that I bought for her. Yeah, that's her new best buddy. My sis,
that's cute.
Yeah, my sis tells me that she takes that thing everywhere, even to the Japanese restaurant. And I'm like, you do know that teppanyaki is not really traditional Japanese food, right? You know, the people that run that place, the people that run that place probably aren't even Japanese, but they're Asian. They're Asian, and the people around don't care. So, but anyway, the thing is, you know, I've been kind of doing a lot of things other than the channel, you know, and trying to spread the good word of Godzilla without having to go door to door. Excuse me, sir.
And have you heard about our Lord and Savior Godzilla?
Right. Or just like taking a can of spray paint and going, happiness is submission to Godzilla, you know, on the side of a church somewhere. No, I'm not. I'm stopping short of vandalism.
You don't stand outside people's doors and sing Godzilla carols for money? No.
There are Godzilla carols?
There should be.
Oh God. Wow.
We should make up some lyrics to Christmas songs that are actually Godzilla related, and then sing them outside people's doors and show them about our Lord and Savior Godzilla.
You would either get a hose turned on you around here,
arrested.
Right. Or somebody would greet you at the door with a shotgun. You're not singing it right. You know. Okay. Yeah.
Toku Punk Productions asked, does your niece hate Barney?
Hey, good enough. Oh, what's this say? Toku Punk says, does she hate Barney? I hate Barney. Barney's an eyesore. Barney's not even a kaiju. He wishes he were a kaiju.
He wishes.
Yeah, he wishes he were a kaiju. Barney is like one of those monsters from Power Rangers that never quite made the cut. He just never quite made it. I'm sorry, not scary enough. Okay, bye. Yeah, next. You know, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's
Godzilla like, Train 1090 brings up a good point. We can sing the Mothra song and the Jet Jaguar song. Yes. Of course.
Oh God. Oh, the MST3K version of the Jet Jaguar song. You guys are gonna have to look that up. I can't remember the lyrics, but it's something like he jacket made of steel, he eats sushi from pail. Jet Jaguar, Jet Jaguar. His mother really never liked him. You know. Oh, what do we got here?
Kasaibo F29 says Minya can beat Barney. He probably can, honestly.
Minya could probably beat Barney. Fart on him? I don't know. But that's pretty much all Minya can do, other than just smoke rings.
I mean, if you step on his tail, he could do a proper atomic breath.
Right, but that would only depend on having another kaiju there to step on his tail.
That's true.
Now, assuming he doesn't. I mean, it'd be like the Pillsbury Doughboy versus the big inflatable dinosaur down the street at the used car lot. You know, that I mean, the funniest Minya meme that I've seen lately has been the one from All Monsters Attack. There's one scene where it's like Minya's looking over like at the little boy, the little Kenny, like he's hungry or something, and he says, "You know, somebody told me that human meat tastes great." You know, like that. What? Oh, nothing. You know. Oh, so let me ask you, Kim, what did you think about the casting of the Mario movie?
I mean, I feel like they could have tried harder.
I think they could have just avoided it entirely by giving us Link, Metroid, or Fire Emblem as a movie. Because they've already done Super Mario. Look how that turned out. It wasn't even Super Mario. It was like, I mean, the problem with that, they didn't have anybody there who actually had played the game. Anyone involved with the production had never played the game. They weren't familiar with Super Mario at all. And the directors were a husband-wife team, Annabelle Jankel and Rocky Morton, who had previously done the cyberpunk TV show Max Headroom 20 Minutes into the Future. And so they had to build this huge cyberpunk-looking set for the Dinosaur City. And I'm like, that wasn't even in the game. I mean, there were so many instances where Mario and Luigi, the actors Hoskins and Leguizamo, were drinking themselves silly, off screen. And at one point, Leguizamo accidentally broke Hoskins' finger by shutting a van door on it. Yeah, so it was bad all around. It still gets trashed to this day, and so many careers were destroyed by it. But and thankfully, it was not one of the movies that I reviewed on my channel. I did an hour-long episode where I reviewed 10 movies that are cursed, basically, and one of them nearly caused me to lose all sanity. It was that bad. It was that bad. I actually kind of separated it out. I trimmed it out. And then I posted that one separate under the title, "This Film Nearly Killed Me." And it was just my reaction to seeing that film. There was no review except for no. It was insane. You could feel, I mean, you watch that movie and you would feel like IQ points going drip, 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 drip. 1 year of college, 2 years of college, 3 years, But back to kaiju stuff. I've also been into watching, Korean kaiju, like Gwaemul, and which is over here was called The Host, and other things like Yongari. The original 60s Yongari is good. The early 2000s CGI remake of Yongari was horrible. And over here, they called it Reptilian over here. It was just bad all around. D-War, or Dragon Wars, was called over here. Dragon Wars was fun. I never really took it serious. I mean, I was like, Dragon Wars. Oh, that sounds neat. Where's the dragon? It's just two big snakes. So I'm like, where's the dragon? It's two cobra. It's two giant kaiju cobra that are like fighting each other. What is this? These aren't dragons. But I had fun watching that, But like the Super Sentai, the only Super Sentai that I remember seeing on TV growing up was always either Ultraman or Ultra 7, and really, really horrible English dubs. And it wasn't until recently that Toei Tokusatsu, I think it was on YouTube's got a channel. Oh yeah, Tokusatsu, which shows subtitled, different subtitled Ultraman from different generations of Ultraman. So I've been watching a lot of those, and Toei's got their, a lot of other stuff on there, on their channel too. That is like Super Sentai and like Kamen Rider, and my favorite Kamen Rider was Kamen Rider Black and Kamen Rider Black RX.
Cool. I still need to get into Kamen Rider. I've only seen a couple of series so far. Well, a couple of episodes of a couple of series, but yeah, definitely need to get into that.
Kamen Rider started in '73, and its big gimmick was the whole motorcycle racing thing. So like you had anime in that time when the main character was this kid who was really big into motorcycle racing. like Getter Robo or Mazinger Z, and the main character was like always on a motorcycle, you know, doing these weird Evel Knievel racing stunts and stuff like that, and then hops into a big robot and flies off. And Kamen Rider was kind of a combination of that concept plus Super Sentai, plus kind of like more of a dark, gritty edge to it. It was kind of odd for that time period, but it worked. You know, I mean, it really worked. I mean, there was one series, I think, I cannot remember the name of what series it was, but did not do too well for Kamen Rider. And the Kamen Rider movies, they're boring. Just stay away from them. Just please stay away from them. They are boring. But the most unusual, unintentional tokusatsu that I ever saw was directed by Hideaki Anno of Evangelion fame, and of course Shin Gojira. And so he directed a live-action adaptation of the manga Cutie Honey by Go Nagai. And I believe I shared that on Discord with a bunch of guys on your Tokusatsu channel. And it's hilarious. It is hilarious that you can tell they had so much fun making it, and that they never take it seriously for one moment. And it's just all the hallmarks of Tokusatsu are there. It's like a weird cross between Tokusatsu and anime. It's just like awesome. What does this say here?
Yeah, Matt wants to know what Kamen Rider movies you're talking about.
The more recent ones. I can't remember what year they came out. I was watching them on YouTube and trying to watch them on YouTube, and just got bored. There was I think like Kamen Rider the first and the one after that.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it was I mean, it was good that they tried that. They tried to make a lot, a movie to reintroduce the first Kamen Rider to little kids who had never seen him, who never knew anything about the first Kamen Rider. So, but it just didn't work. It was just too boring. It was like the Netflix adaptation of Death Note. Or the live action Full Metal Alchemist. Oh God. Please.
Oh dear. What did you think of Godzilla Singular Point?
Oh, well, I liked it. I really liked it. I love how Reiwa is taking Godzilla in so many different directions, using so many different techniques and styles, especially bringing quantum physics into the arena. They've never done this before, treating it like serious science. There was a lot of thought that the writers put in that they put into this. You can tell just by watching. And I mean, okay, for any of you guys out there that really are having trouble understanding basic quantum physics, and I know there's a lot of you, it's nothing to be ashamed of. There's a book that you can get by Neil deGrasse Tyson. It's called Death by Black Hole and Other Cosmic Quandaries. It is a great, easy to read, easy to understand primer on the universe and how everything works in relation to one another, and how basic quantum physics and astrophysics combine. So it's really great. But the other thing is I love the characters. They are deeper than your typical Godzilla characters. I mean, there's so much to them that we don't know. Like my theory, and this is just a theory, has not been proven yet, and might be proven in further seasons if they do further seasons, is the dude with the glasses. I can't remember his name right offhand because it's been like a week since I watched it.
Yoon?
Yoon. Yeah, thank you, Yoon. He might actually be that mad, evil, weird, crazy looking doctor. Their names are similar. If you look at their last names, they're similar. And I'm like thinking, oh my God, this is kind of like a weird, time curving back in on itself kind of thing, where maybe, we're caught in the middle of this. He's done something to really upset the universe. And so the universe is at a point to where it can't right itself. And they say two of the same thing cannot exist in the same space. But yet you're starting to see the crazy guy at the end of the episodes. And I'm thinking, don't get these two together in the same room. The whole universe will go. So, yeah. It's like when they say in time travel, if you go back in time and you don't ever meet yourself. Don't ever meet yourself, because you will negate your own existence.
That is true.
Pardon me.
I mean, I've never time traveled, but I would try to follow those basic time travel rules. Indeed.
Oh God! And the monster designs, the new monster designs, are amazing, and I love how they combined elements from different kaiju into the new monsters. Like with the Kamanga, what they call a Kamanga now is part Kumonga, part Kamakeras, part Megalon. And when they cut it open, oh, hey, blue Hedera. That's interesting. I like how they did that. And nice dude just came by, showed me his Gamera wallpaper.
Oh, fun.
I like. But anyway, the thing with the designs for Godzilla, I know that they weren't able to get a lot of the classic kaiju thrown in by themselves, and they combined them with like I said earlier, with other kaiju to make them new iterations. But like Godzilla himself, like the Amphibia, that was a lot was Varan. A lot of that was Varan. The way he sat, real low to the ground, and the way his head had all the spikes on it. That was Varan. And I was like sitting there going, whoa. I think that they put a little Baragon in that too, which I appreciated that, because poor Baragon. Oh, little dino puppy. Yeah, poor dino puppy doesn't get enough love.
Yeah, Baragon's a good boy.
Yeah, he is a good boy. The same with the Spiky Boy. I love how they did Anguirus in that. Like, they made him a freaking tank when he had to be.
That was a really cool design.
That was. I loved it, but I was sad. I was so sad when he died. I was like, oh, they killed Godzilla's dog.
They did my Spiky Boy dirty.
Yeah. Rodan, I wasn't so sad about Rodan dying. There was tons of them, I was like, oh, they can kill all they want. Somehow they'll make more. But Manda, I was the most surprised at Manda's the Manda redesign. And there was more than one Manda, which I was like, what? There's a whole school of them? Oh my God, just watching that in just disbelief. And every new episode was an adventure, because you never knew what you were going to get. And it's like that was just one of those shows that just keeps you guessing. You never know what's around each corner. And the characters are well thought out. The whole script is very well written. If it's not, there is some parts that could be considered really deep for a lot of people. And I understand that. But it's one of those shows. If you like it, you like it. You don't. Who am I to say? Right? So it's like, I don't like Godzilla 98 or the Godzilla 98 animated TV show. I don't like Zilla because, well, he's not Godzilla in name only. To me, he's just a big mutated marine iguana. And yeah, has no redeeming qualities as a Godzilla. He didn't even have fire breath. I mean, sure, they tried in the movie to show, oh yeah, look, he's breathing fire. No, he was
No,
breathing.
he's very much not.
Yeah, breathing a chemical vapor. He knocked over some taxi cabs. They blew up and caught the thing on fire. That's what that was. And Final Wars was where Toho finally put their foot down and said, okay, look, guys, we're going to prove to you once and for all, this monster is not this monster. Never was, never will be. How we're going to do this? We are going to have Big G over here curb stomp Z's butt, right in front of you. And then it'll be over. But no. There are always going to be gatekeepers in any fan community, and I've run into quite a few.
Started.
Oh no, I've run into quite a few already. And it seems to me, I might be wrong, but it does seem to me that there are a lot of Godzilla 98 fans out there who are okay with you not liking it. They respect you for, at least stating your opinion. And then there are some that are like, what? Oh my God, no, you must die. Those are the ones that the fandom can do without, because growing up with kaiju films and Godzilla fandom in general, that's not what Godzilla fandom is all about. You should like what you like, regardless of what other people think. At least let them give you their opinion, but don't start a fight over it, which is what some of these people are doing. And it's like my shadow agent, Nyazilla on Twitter. He's the GojiKai's shadow agent, the guy who hides in the shadows. And he told me, he's like, some people just want to watch the world burn. And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess so. And so yeah, there's going to be trolls. There's going to be trolls, guys. But just the most important thing is have really good admins that know how to spot trolls right away. Yep. Or learn how to do it by yourself. It's not that hard. I mean, even little kids can be trolls. Mostly little kids can be trolls.
Yeah, or full-grown adults who act like children.
Yeah, I saw that. I got in on that. I think I got in on that discussion. I've had quite a few times that's happened. And when I thought it was a little kid, I actually did. I got into an argument with somebody, found out that he was using this excuse like, well, I can act like this because I'm 8 years old. And then I'm like, mentally? Because I had already looked up his profile. And I'm like, mentally? Feel sorry for you, man. But
and Matt says, don't participate in the online social scene. Haha. Yeah, that's what I was doing for pretty much my entire life. I did not even bother interacting with the community until like maybe last year. I think quarantine has nothing to do with that, but I digress. But right. Yeah, I'm wondering, were you the same way? Did you like just kind of avoid talking to anybody until you like started making content, or just
almost religiously? If I mean, online was the only exception. Because I could type, and I can, my late uncle taught me the art of writing. And so that helped me to communicate over the internet. So through just writing things on Facebook, which I recently got off of Facebook because it was becoming way too political for its own good. And I'm like, you can't say anything on Facebook anymore, even if it's the most innocent thing out there, without sounding like you're, the wrong kind of person. And so I just left Facebook, and I'm like, you know what? Twitter would be a really good place to have my base of operations for my channel, and
yeah, Twitter's not much better, but yeah.
Well, no, it's a lot better in that it's short form and you don't got to read so many manifestos.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who you follow.
Yeah,
and who you have muted.
See, I'm the kind of person that if you type a novel, I'll sit there and I'll read it. I will actually pay attention to it and I'll read it word for word. There's a lot of people like, nope, TLDR. And I'm like, you know, that no, I'm not gonna, no.
Yeah. So PSA, folks, be careful who you follow. Don't be a troll.
Right. And I
Don't
tend to
interact with
follow,
trolls. Don't feed the trolls.
and on Twitter, I tend to follow a lot of VTubers that are independent. I also follow the HoloLive VTubers so I can get updates when I can actually translate from Japanese reliably to English and as to their activities. And right now I've been watching a lot of V Shoujo, and those girls are funny. Those girls are really funny. Natasha Nyanners is one of my favorites, and she runs a really great show over there on I think she does her show on Twitch, but there are definitely Nyanners clips that you can find on YouTube everywhere. She's one of the most popular over at V Shoujo, and she does her show in English, so it's all good. It's all good. Just don't let your little kids watch it, because she sometimes unintentionally kind of Freudian slips. So, or maybe intentionally. I don't know, but it's funny.
All righty then. All right. So we're going to wrap up this discussion pretty quick, but one last question. What are your top 5 favorite kaiju? Go.
Baragon. Varan. Gorgo. Gorgor from the Gwar music video. I'll explain later. And Godzilla.
Of course.
Well, let me a little background on the Gorgor thing. I don't know if you've ever heard of the rock band Gwar. They're a heavy metal band. GWAR is how they spell their name. They came out in 1985 originally, whereas their first album was released in 1988. They are the world's first Tokusatsu rock band. They dress in monster costumes on stage. They have a stage show that has blood and guts and stuff spraying out over the audience, and well, fake. But they also have a music video of this creature called Gorgor, which is a huge T-Rex stomping through a fake city. And you can tell that, you know, they are steeped in the Tokusatsu and kaiju tradition, that just by looking at them, you know. So yeah, that's the explanation for Gorgor as one of my favorite kaiju, just because he's so absurd.
All righty. Good to know. All right. Well, it has been a lovely discussion. Before we head out tonight, why don't you tell everyone where they can find your stuff and your work?
Well, my channel can be found at YouTube. Just search for Worldwide GojiKai. And I'm on Twitter at Eddie the K3. And it's also listed under Worldwide GojiKai Productions.
Very good. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on to my show. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. It's been great.
Yeah. Very interesting discussions tonight. All right.
Well, I'll see you.
And to you, lovely people watching at home, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me and my lovely guest. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you had a good time with me here today. And follow me on all the socials down below. And join my Discord if you haven't already. So you can keep up with me. All right, guys. See you next time.
See you guys out. Peace out.